One day, my husband inquired, "Hey, what's the amount in that container?" I chuckled and answered, I'd say we've got around $700,000 in there now." The following day, upon returning home, I discovered a signed divorce document on the living room table, and both the vault and my husband were nowhere to be found. I'm Eleanor, a 49-year-old working housewife. Despite this unexpected turn of events, I persevere in putting in dedicated effort at my job. Well, I really enjoy saving money. Back in my childhood, my mom set up a savings account for me. She told me that putting money in the bank would make the numbers in my passbook go up. I started with just $5, and it was so much fun to see it grow. Every year, my savings grew a bit more with a few extra cents in interest. It was like a pleasant little surprise for my younger self. Attracted to the world of money and its intricacies, I chose to become a financial planner, sharing guidance on managing assets. One day, a university buddy told me about a childhood pal facing severe challenges because of gambling, struggling to make a living. I opted to meet with both him and my friend. Despite his attractive exterior and a cheerful smile, my old friend was caught in the web of gambling troubles and financial hardships. I believed Eleanor could offer valuable guidance to him. While hearing Owen's tale, he confessed his passion for gambling, just like his folks. To make matters worse, he had shouldered his parents' financial burden. Naturally, he appeared quite concerned, and I found his troubled expression charming. Since my friend had requested, I willingly agreed to assist him. Reflecting now, I may have had a slight crush on him, but I never anticipated it leading to a series of challenging events. Regardless, I suggested to Owen to consolidate his debts and lower his monthly payments for better life management. Soon after, Owen and I began dating. Despite my friend's opposition, claiming they didn't endorse being with him, we proceeded and eventually got married. My hope was that marriage would enable us to confront Owen's debt together. My earnings are quite satisfactory considering my age, so Owen had to allocate most of his income to settle his debts. I advised him to sever connections with his parents to avoid the debt from growing. Additionally, I provided Owen with a monthly allowance of $700. When he chose to break ties, his mother shouted, "Ungrateful child. I regret ever having you." "It's common for children to assist their parents with debts," remarked his father, adding, "Where's that dishonest? I can't unwind until I share my feelings with her. She doesn't fit in with our family," and my husband Owen, exhausted from handling my in-laws' financial problems, finally asserted himself. He told them, "That's it. I'm not your bank. I'm doing my best." He returned to me, relieved to be liberated from their constant reminders of debts. Before long, we welcomed our son, Jack, who resembles Owen, my source of pride and joy. However, Jack appeared to observe his father's lack of discipline and uncertainty. Owen's carefree nature persisted, and he continued borrowing money from unscrupulous lenders, dealing with loan sharks, and deceiving friends into lending him money for gambling. Despite the challenges, I managed to keep Owen in line over 25 years. Recently, we reduced Owen's debt to about $10,000, nearing full repayment. However, Owen received a call from his parents asking for help, as his father had collapsed. Owen left work early and messaged me, apologizing for breaking our promise and going to see his parents at the hospital. "I'm really sorry to hear about your dad's minor stroke. While he's not in immediate danger, it's important for him to take things easy and avoid overexertion. Both of my parents are feeling a bit down, and I want to support them. Would it be all right if I spend some time with them?" "Certainly, dear. Go and offer them comfort. Would you like me to join you?" "No need. It's fine if you're busy with work and they might not treat you well again." I gave Owen some extra money to help with his hospital visit since they couldn't afford the fees. Since then, Owen has been regularly visiting his parents, taking around $400 to $500 each time from me. It seems my in-laws are facing financial difficulties, and Owen is assisting them. It has added up to about $1,000 to $2,000 a month, but I've decided to overlook it for now. "I'm sorry to hear about your dad's minor stroke. While he's not in immediate danger, it's crucial for him to take it easy and avoid overexertion. My parents are feeling a bit down, and I want to support them. Can I spend some time with them? Absolutely, go and comfort them. Would you like me to join you? No, it's okay if you're busy with work, and they might not react well again. I provided Owen with extra money to cover his hospital visits because it seemed they couldn't afford the fees. Since then, Owen has been regularly visiting his parents, taking around $400 to $500 each time from me. It appears my in-laws are facing financial difficulties, and Owen is helping them. Although it has accumulated to about $1,000 to $2,000 a month, I've chosen to overlook it for the time being. I couldn't resist smiling when I found out Owen was eyeing the money in the vault and had plans to take it all. Even though he isn't very smart, the thought of him trying to carry the entire vault almost made me burst into laughter. At our house, we have a black cat named Aurora. To keep an eye on her cute behaviors, we set up a pet camera. Observing Aurora's playful moments brings me joy throughout my day. I frequently check the camera during lunch breaks, and every time I do, my cat looks absolutely adorable. One day, when I turned on the camera, I witnessed an unexpected scene in our living room on a regular weekday. My in-laws and my husband, Owen, were deeply engrossed in a surprising conversation. They admired our home, saying, "Living in such a nice house. Owen, with a good salary, makes your mother so proud." Owen replied, "Indeed, I am proud." His father joined in. "I earn a decent salary too, but Eleanor manages it all, so I only receive an allowance of $700 a month." Owen added, "Oh, poor thing. I've been working so hard, and your mother understands." They comforted him, expressing disbelief that she takes his entire salary, leaving him with only $700 a month. They unanimously agreed that it was unfair and that he deserves more. "Why are you blindly following Eleanor as if she's your boss? You could lead a much better life on your own," they continued. "Owen, you're our source of pride. You could have saved hundreds of thousands by now, but she's just taking advantage of you, poor thing," they said, causing my mother-in-law to sob. "Yeah, I've been contemplating the same thing." "You guys are right," Owen agreed. I couldn't help but wonder what he meant, considering he seemed to have completely overlooked the fact that I've been diligently working to pay off his debts. Furthermore, in the past, he was burdened with debts from his parents, having to give them cash every month, making it challenging for him to make ends meet. "You know, she has a bank book with tons of savings stashed away. It's not fair that I only get $700, Owen complained. The moment he said that, my in-laws' eyes lit up. They exchanged glances, eagerly awaiting his answer. Last I heard, I think it was around $600K or $700K, Owen said. "Owen, isn't that money rightfully yours?" they asked. "It might not match the effort you've put in, but isn't it money you should be receiving?" Owen nodded in agreement. "I'm beginning to believe the same," Owen admitted. Despite his attractive appearance, Owen struggles with making decisions and often lets others sway him easily. In the past, I found this indecisiveness charming and dedicated myself to him completely. We successfully brought down his debt from almost $200,000 to just $10,000. However, it seems his parents are influencing him once more, and they're on the verge of accessing my hard-earned savings. Witnessing this scene was truly heartbreaking. I sat at my desk in tears, clutching my phone. I had been setting aside money from his earnings to cover my living expenses, primarily to settle the debt. Additionally, I was giving him a personal allowance of $700 from my own funds. Despite explaining this to Owen, it appears he completely forgot the significance of the past 25 years. I felt deeply saddened and pitiful. My heart throbbed as if I were engulfed in my own tears. It's not that I sensed myself vanishing on the brink of shattering, but on the day I left work early due to illness, I made sure to document the conversation and sent the information to my son. Departing from work early that day, I headed to my regular bar and indulged in heavy drinking, pouring out my emotions to the bartender. In that state, the bartender comforted me with kindness. He nonchalantly remarked, "Why mourn for such a person? You've done nothing wrong. You don't have to live for them, live for yourself." In that instant, all my inebriation and love for my husband dissipated. Thank you, sir. Next time, we'll share a delightful dream, I expressed to the bartender before returning home. Entering my room, I thought about how I could get hold of the bank book hidden in that light bulb. I couldn't figure it out at first, but I had to come up with a plan. I was determined to prove myself they shouldn't underestimate me. I focused more than usual. The initial move was to gather evidence. After that, I checked the pet camera regularly, and the unpleasant truth started to emerge. My spouse was bringing a young woman home during the hours he claimed to be working. It appeared he was having an affair and bringing her over approximately twice a week. It was hard to believe I had to witness my spouse being unfaithful when all I wanted was to take care of her cat, Aurora. Aurora also seemed frightened and wouldn't appear. They disrupted my valuable relaxation time. More than that, they betrayed my trust, something I cannot forgive. Someday, I will address this situation with serious consequences. Someday. While I was busy with my work, I decided to check the pet camera. This time, it wasn't the lady my husband was having an affair with, but my in-laws were once again at our place. They casually mentioned their plan to retrieve the bank book from Hilling, accompanied by an unpleasant grin. With a teasing tone, they said, "You're clever. Surely you've thought of a plan, right?" I quipped, "Oh, I've given it some thought. I'm contemplating taking the entire vault. It seems doable." One of them expressed concern. "The vault is quite heavy. Can you handle it?" Reassuringly, I responded, "I'll manage. I'll load it onto a cart." "Dad, lend me a hand, will you?" He agreed, saying, "I'm here to help anytime." As we dealt with the weighty safe, tipping the scales at 140 pounds, it confirmed my suspicion that my husband Owen was handsome, but not the sharpest tool in the shed. Once more, I promised myself to bring these people down to a terrible place. I pictured having that cash, thinking, with this money, we could go to the casino. I envisioned going to the casino as a family and enjoying a happy life together as a family of 4. Owen agreed, saying, "Sure, let's have a joyful life with the money from that bank book, shall we?" Yet, a sense of guilt crept into my thoughts when I considered Eleanor, who had diligently saved up with such happiness. I hesitated about taking the money she had worked so hard to save. "You shouldn't be so fragile while we're working on this for your happiness. Remember? I'll find joy and you've already discovered a new spouse, right? Quickly end your marriage with that woman. I need to get divorced for her well-being too. I'll leave the divorce papers here. Yes, we're waiting for the money from that bank account and the new spouse, so I'm going to get divorced." Well, that makes sense. I found myself oddly agreeing. But how desperate are these individuals for some cash? I was sipping coffee at my office desk, capturing the scene on my phone screen. I wasn't even bothered or sorrowful anymore. If they had such intentions, so did I. I was determined to show them a difficult time. I was motivated, and then the day finally arrived. "Hey, how much money is in the passbook?" The following day, when I arrived home, I noticed that passbook inside the safe. You always appear so delighted when you gaze at it. Currently, there's approximately $500,000 in there. The subsequent day upon my return, I found a signed divorce document in the living room, and both my husband and the vault were absent. A subtle smile adorned my face during breakfast. Swiftly, I took action. I promptly initiated the divorce process and immediately informed my son. "Jack, your father has indeed absconded with a vault. Hard to believe he managed to carry it. It's incredibly heavy. Mom, I think it's time to conclude things with Dad. By the way, did he take everything? The vault isn't useful anymore. I transferred all the money to an online account. The bank passbook serves no purpose now. The most crucial thing is missing. Should I inform the police? Perhaps the safe was the issue. It was extremely heavy. By the way, I've initiated divorce proceedings. Now I'm contemplating involving the police. What's your opinion? If you decide to involve the police, make sure to hire a lawyer as well." Oh, yes, a lawyer. I had hired a private investigator, but I overlooked getting a lawyer. Thanks for the reminder. I'm also severing ties with Jack. I reached out to a lawyer because Jack advised me to do so. The lawyer appeared irritated. I got in touch with a lawyer through my investigator and handed over the recording from my pet camera to both the police and the lawyer. I patiently waited. Eventually, my ex-husband called, sounding desperate. "The passbook is empty. What happened to the $500,000? You deceived me. Where is it? Tell me now or I'm going back to the house and leaving your cat, Aurora. You stole from me and now you're threatening me. From now on, communicate with my lawyer." I informed him that I would block his number. The incident was reported to the police, and I shared the recording with my lawyer. What a relief. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Karma can be tough. Soon after, the police called me with good news: they apprehended the thief. However, there was damage to the vault. He had forced it open, and the contents inside were destroyed by fire. My ex-husband and his parents discovered that the passbook balance was zero, and it turns out they intentionally set fire to the items in the vault. Despite it being his first offense, my ex-husband spent a few days in police custody. His parents were released with a stern warning. After his release, my ex-husband broke into his former residence. I told him to go away, blocked his number, reported the situation to the police, and shared the recording with my lawyer. What a relief. It's exactly what I wanted to do. Karma can be quite harsh. The police called shortly after, letting me know they apprehended the thief. However, the vault was damaged. It seems he forcefully opened it. The contents inside were burned. My former husband and his parents found out that the account balance was zero. Evidently, they set fire to the items inside the vault. Despite it being his first offense, my ex-husband spent a few days in police custody, while his parents were released with a stern warning. After he was set free, my ex-husband forcefully entered our old home, insisting on being let in. "Hey, open the door. I'm here." Quickly, I dialed the police, explaining the unsettling situation. Eventually, he apologized, insisting it was just a harmless prank. He pressed me to allow him inside for a talk, inquiring about the status of the divorce papers. I firmly stated that the divorce papers had been filed and our relationship was over. Despite his objections, I demanded he leave and warned of involving the police. He persisted, causing a commotion and asserting that it was still his residence. I made another call to the police, and after 20 minutes, they removed him from the scene. After that, I got in touch with my lawyer to clarify what happened and start the procedure for getting a restraining order. I talked to my lawyer about filing a lawsuit due to emotional distress. The lawyer cautioned that we might not receive a significant amount of money from my financially struggling spouse. However, that's not my primary worry. I am set on requesting alimony. It appears that my spouse broke into our house after being rejected by their lover and wanting to reconcile with me. Unexpectedly, the lover quickly sent $10,000 in alimony and vanished, hinting at their separation following some financial difficulties. It seems like their relationship went through a rough patch due to financial troubles. When the money problems arose, their love also faded away. I suspect he was drawn to my savings of $700,000. My ex-husband, who earns less than he deserves, still owes $10,000 and has parents dealing with a gambling addiction. According to my lawyer, he resides in a small, old apartment without a shower, frequently arguing with his parents. My ex-husband pleaded, explaining that he can't manage to pay the alimony and asked for a reduction. Despite being close to retirement, he lost his job, and now his elderly in-laws are striving to make ends meet by taking on cleaning jobs. My ex-husband is currently juggling 2 part-time jobs. However, both of these jobs are held by gambling addicts. Regardless of how much money they earn, it mysteriously vanishes due to their addiction. Unfortunately, there's no way to help them. I communicated through my lawyer, insisting on no reduction and advising them to stay away from me. I made it clear that if they are genuinely remorseful, they should demonstrate it through financial responsibility. Had he stayed with me, he had a plan to eliminate the remaining $10,000 debt before retirement. Unfortunately, he succumbed to the persuasive words of his gambling-addicted parents-in-law. It's disheartening to think about how this $700,000 represents the accumulation of my savings since a young age. I used to find joy in updating my bank book with small changes. Now, I'm contemplating starting a new bank account. Currently, I'm leading a peaceful life with my black cat, Aurora. My son occasionally visits and shares updates about his girlfriend. At this point, I'm considering purchasing a new, large vault, one too substantial for a person to carry. Aurora, I feel that I'm experiencing the happiest moments of my life.